Hello and welcome back to the Coder's Legacy channel. In this video, we're going to explore how to use the Python web scraping library, Scrapy, to scrape an entire e-commerce website. We're going to be downloading all of the data from that website, which is basically what the process of web scraping is, downloading and extracting data, extracting the useful information. This is the website that we're going to be scraping, Books to Scrape, and they have all these books over here, and each book has its own product page with the description and product information. Okay, our goal is going to be to scrape all of this stuff, okay, and save it in a JSON file. That's the point of this video. We're going to be exploring as many Scrapy concepts as we can, and we're gonna begin from scratch as well. So this is going to be basically a complete video that features Scrapy from start to finish. All right, all the way down from setting up a project to implementing proper and good practices into our Scrapy spider. All right, so let's begin. The first thing that we're going to do is create a project. Okay, and we'll use the start project command, then the name of our project, which can be e-commerce. Okay, hit enter, and now it's going to create a new folder right here. There we go. And here we have the spiders folder and a few other files that we'll be using throughout this tutorial. We're gonna first go over into the e-commerce and then e-commerce and into the spiders folder. Then I'm gonna run this command to generate a spider. Okay, we're gonna call it book scraper, and then we pass in the URL of the website that we're gonna be scraping. Okay, like this. Then we hit enter, and it's gonna generate a spider for us. You can always do this manually as well. It's not really an issue. Okay, this is what Scrapy has generated for us. These three are important variables that must be declared. Well, okay, they don't have to be, but it's good if you do. Name is very important because this is a unique name that gets assigned to your scraper. All right. Later on, we're going to use this to reference this spider. Allowed domains ensures that while scraping links, while following links, which is what we're going to do in today's tutorial, it ensures that we don't accidentally go to some other website, to some other external website. So this basically, Scrapy will, as long as you define this parameter, Scrapy will automatically remain within the URLs defined within this list. Okay, within the domains defined in this list. This is the start URLs. This can be a collection of URLs where we tell Scrapy to, parse. If we have 10 links over here, Scrapy is gonna call this parse function on each one of these links. All right. Now, what we could do, a really brute force solution, would be to find all of the pages. Okay, there are 50 pages in this website. We could go ahead and put them all inside this list. But that's not a very efficient solution because in a realistic scenario, e-commerce website might have thousands or hundreds of thousands of pages, right? So what we're going to do is just put the first one, the place where we want to start from. Then we're just going to use link following to automatically follow the links to the next page, all right? And again, we'll talk about that in today's video. Let's just begin from the Scrapy shell. I'm just going to go back a bit, okay, to the top folder, to the first e-commerce folder. And from there, I'm going to call Scrapy shell. This opens up a shell over here where we can basically test out some Scrapy commands. Okay, it's a good testing ground. We can test out our CSS and XPath selectors over here, and then later on we can move them into the actual spider. Okay, I'm just gonna paste the URL in here, fetch, and now we have it fetched. It's in the response object. So now I'm gonna use XPath to get some data. What's the first thing that we need to acquire from this page? Well, what I first want to acquire is these links. Okay, we need the link to get to this page, right? So that's the first thing that I want to acquire. I want to get to this page, and then we're gonna begin extracting data once we get to this page. Okay, so that's our first goal. How do we get this link? Let me inspect element. Then over here, I can see that we need to start looking for some unique identity. How can we access this href specifically? Well, I can observe that it's inside this article tag, article element with the class product underscore pod. Okay, and it's within an h3 and then within this a tag. All right, so this is what I'm gonna do. I'm going to do I'm using expat, so slash slash, then I do article, then square brackets to basically pick which article we want to select, because there could be many article elements. I'm going to do um, class, and no, wait, there's definitely an at sign over there. All right, class is equal to then in single quotes put the class product underscore pod. Okay, what's next? I'm gonna put a slash over here, then open this up again. We have an h3. Okay, we want to go from here down to the h3 next, and then to this a tag, and then we want to acquire the href attribute. So what I'll do is slash h3 slash a, and then slash at href, and this will give us the href. Then I'll do dot get. Okay, and this gives us the very first href for that, for this product, for the first book. If we want all of them, we can do get all. Okay, and this returns all of them. And there should be about 20 books per page, all right, roughly. So yeah, that's how this is working. Okay, now that we know this command works, we can take this and put it over here. Okay, for a link in this. Okay, and don't do this because we'll need this object, because once we do get all, it just returns a string. Okay, we don't want to return that string right now. We want to use the link object. We want to use the link object right now in the response.follow function. We can pass in this link object directly, and what's going to happen is that we're going to follow that link. All right, now over here we need to pass, as the second parameter, we need to pass a function. We need to pass a function that we want to use to parse the page that we reach when we follow this link. Basically, if I just define a dummy function in here, parse2, what happens is that the parse function gets called on this page. Then we find a bunch of links. Okay, we find a bunch of links for all of these pages. Then we need to follow that link. Then the page that we get led to, we're gonna call this function on it, because we can't have the same parse function for this page and the parse function for this page and the parse function for this page. They're gonna be different, right? They have different layouts, they have different structures. We can't use the same parse function, so we're gonna define a new parse function called product parse. All right, self, and the same format, response. Let's just leave this empty for now, and we'll pass in product parse. Okay, so I hope you understood that much. What we're now gonna do is begin scraping data from here. Okay, but first we should actually verify that we're actually following the links. I think we should do that. How can we verify this though? Well, what we could do is check to see whether this function is being called, okay, and then try to do something like extract the title. Let's try and extract the h1. Okay, so what I'll do here is response.expat. Okay, then I'll do slash slash, then h1, then slash text. This should give us the text of the h1. Then I'm going to print this out, and we'll do dot get. There should only be one h1, so we don't need to do get all. All right, and now let's go ahead and run our spider. We haven't actually run it yet, so let's do that. Scrapy crawl, then the name of our spider, book scraper, and that, by the way, is this. Okay, and actually, you know what? We're going to yield this instead. Okay, let's yield this instead. and let's make this a dictionary object. Okay, title. There. All right, cool. And now I'm going to save this output. Okay, yield basically saves the output somewhere. It's yielding the output somewhere. We're going to save it in this output.json file. And I'll hit enter. And now this should run if there's no error. And looks like it went okay. Let's check our output.json file. No, there's nothing in here. So why is that? We need to analyze this. There's no error over here. It looks fine over here. So the problem is somewhere over here. And come to think of it, this should be yield. We need to yield this actually. Otherwise, it's not going to work. Otherwise, it's just being called. The yield part is necessary. And we should also specify the base URL. This this might not be the cause of the problem, the base URL, but this is something that you should do anyway, especially when doing link following, because look at this. You see this over here, this link? Does something look unusual about it? Well, that's because the start of it is missing. Where is the books to scrape.com and then the slash catalog slash the title name? Why is it incomplete? Well, that's just how internal links are. Internal links are links that point within the same website, not to an external website. So sometimes Scrapy can use this base URL. It can help it complete these internal links. So you should mention it. Okay? Books to scrape.com. All right, that's it. And oh, this should be brackets, by the way. Okay, on XPath, this needs to have brackets, kind of like a function, right? CSS in CSS, you just write text normally. So let's run this code and pray that it works. And yep, now we're scraping. Yep, now it's working. Let me go to output.json, and here we can see all of the titles. There are 20 titles, just like I said. There are 20 books on the, over here. There were 20 books over here, and we scraped all of their titles. And we did not scrape them from here, okay? Let's be clear about that. We did not scrape them from this page. We scraped them from here, okay? Now, what I'm going to do, the next thing that we want to do is scale up this code, or actually maybe not. There are two things that we need to do, two main things. One, we need to extend this code to scrape the entire website. And second, we need to extend our code to scrape all of the data from this page. So let's do this first, okay? And then later on, we'll extend our code to scrape the whole website. If the data is less, it'll be easier to debug and stuff. So it's better to do it like this, okay? We're going to just change this a bit. We're going to do contains, all right? And then this is kind of like a function and takes two parameters. The first is the attribute, all right, which is in this case class, and the second is the value, which is star rating. So basically what this does is checks to see if the class contains star rating, and if it does, it's going to return that. So this is a way basically of checking if an attribute has multiple classes. We can check to see if it contains one of them. All right. Now let me run this code again after deleting this file, and we should get the desired output this time. And yep, there we go. Great. See, we got star rating now. See, perfect. Now the next step is to get the description, which is going to be pretty straightforward, I assume. What is this? It's inside this div called product description, and that's an ID. All right, but the same technique applies, really. Description, and I know this is kind of boring, but that's just what this is like. Slash slash, then div, then slash, then ID is equal to product description. All right, then slash text. This will give us the text, hopefully. All right, Now let's delete this and try it again. We should get the product description this time. And no. Okay, that's sad. I think there might be a different way of checking the ID. Or let's double check this. Huh. I think I've made a little mistake over here. I see. All right, turns out that it is not inside this div. It's actually just lying around over here. Okay, now this is a tricky scenario. See, in this kind of very annoying scenario where this paragraph tag does not have any ID or class, we need to figure out an alternate way of extracting it. What we can do, all right, and a really easy way of doing this is you see that this is the only direct paragraph tag. See, this is the article, and then there's these 6 elements in here. Now, there might be a paragraph tag within these. Okay, let me just show you through the code what I mean. I'm going to remove this. Okay, and I'm going to say within this article, okay, it's pretty similar. We can just copy paste that. Product page. All right, product page. Then I'll do slash p. All right. Now look, if I did slash p, what would happen is that slash slash means deep nesting. So it's going to look for children within the children as well. So for example, let's see, does any of these divs have a paragraph tag? Nope, you don't. Do you? Nope, you don't either. No, no. Come on, seriously. Okay. Looks like none of these divs have a child paragraph tag, but let's just assume for the sake of it that this let's assume this div had a paragraph. All right, it doesn't, but let's assume that it did. And if it did, then if we did this, if we did double slash, then we would get all of the paragraph tags within this article class, within this article tag. But if we do a single slash, then we're only going to get that direct child, and there's only one paragraph tag that is the direct child of this article element. So it's safe to go ahead and do this. Okay, now let's run this code again after deleting the old output.json file, and let us hope that it comes out correctly. Okay, I can see a lot of output over there, and it's clearly working. Okay, this is getting a bit annoying. How do we see this? All right, that's a lot of text. But clearly we can see that our code is now working. Okay, we have now extracted the description. Next up is this stuff down here. Do we really need to get all of this? Okay, there's a table, and then there's a T body, and then there's a row, and then there's a header, and then there's a TD. I see. Okay. But this is a valid problem. How do we do this? We have a T body. Okay. We could just extract the T body, right? That's a valid idea. We could go ahead and just extract it like that. Should we? Should we? What we could do is directly do it like this. Info. Okay. Then we could create another dictionary, kind of, like this. Or is that even a good idea? Let's see what happens. Response dot expat. Then if I did slash slash, then T body. I don't think this is a good idea, so we could directly get this, but then how do we get these? It would seem that the best solution to this would involve a bit of hard coding. I don't think we really have any choice. We kind of need to do this. All right, let me go ahead and show you how to do this. First up is UPC, right? So let's just change this to UPC, and then slash slash T body, then slash TR. Then over here, we're going to put the square brackets. Then over here, I'm going to put 0. So, just like in Python with lists, you have a list of values, then you use indexing. We're doing the same thing over here. tr square bracket 0 means that get the first tr, okay, the first table row. That's what tr stands for, okay? And if I did 1, we would get the second row, and so on. So I'm going to do slash, then we're going to get this. All right, we want this td, td, uh, td slash text. Now I'm going to do this for all of them. I don't like this technique too much because it's kind of like hard coding, but not really. But I mean, it works. But yeah. All right, so price. Man, this is a lot of info. Kind of regretting going through all of this. We could have just extracted a little bit, but okay, that's fine. All right, so I went ahead and completed this. Okay, and I'm just gonna remove this as well, the T-body. It's causing weird problems, and I'm just gonna remove it because we don't really need it. We can just put the table over here directly, okay, and then slash slash. Now I'm going to uh, do this again, all right, and hopefully this should work. I haven't actually tested it out myself yet, and please work. Let me go here now, and UPC is null. Wait, what? Uh, huh. Everything appears a bit out of order. Oh, of course, of course. Okay, the deal is with Scrapy, this is not Python indexing. They start from 1, okay? They don't start from 0. So you need to start from 1. So just fix that accordingly, and then we're good. All right, so our code is working at this point. We know it's working. It's just this one minor problem. Now we can begin. We have the main code down. We're just going to extend this application, and then I'm going to begin showing you some other cool stuff that we can do with Scrapy. Okay, we're almost done with the main content. Okay, see, now we're getting all the correct information in here. Perfect. Now the next thing to do is extend this code so that it scrapes the entire website. We're just one step away now. We're just 2 minutes away from getting a working spider complete. Okay, it might not be too great in structure yet, but it's going to be working. Now we're going to include some new imports in here. Then we're going to replace this with crawl spider. Oops, crawl spider. All right. Crawl spider is a special type of spider. We've changed our spider a bit from a default spider to a crawling type spider. Now we've given it the ability to basically follow links automatically by itself. But we don't want it to follow just any link. So what we're going to do is set up some basic rules. Okay, we need to do this, otherwise it's going to go crazy and start scraping everything. Here we're going to insert a link extractor object, which basically decides which links get extracted for following purposes. Now I'm just going to go over here first. We need to examine this. This is the link to the next page. I'm going to right click on this, and I'm going to look at this, and I can see that this says catalog slash page. Okay, so what we want to do is allow pages which have catalog slash page in them. All right, let me just take a quick look at some of these other links and make sure they don't have. Oh, okay, this one has catalog. Now see, this is interesting because if I say allow is equal to catalog, what's the spelling? Catalog. All right, if I say this, then it's also gonna follow links over here. It's gonna follow these links, and I don't want it to do that. So we need to somehow make sure only this link gets followed, only these types of link on the next button. Okay, now what a really easy way of doing this is this. We're going to use the restrict XPath or restrict CSS. You can use whichever you want to. I'm just using XPath in this tutorial because, I like it. So over here, I'm going to put in an XPath expression // li, then class is equal to next. All right. And what this is gonna do is it's only gonna follow links that are within HTML element called li list item and with the class of next. Now I'm pretty sure that this is the only href link that meets that criteria, so this is gonna work perfectly fine. And it's only gonna follow this link. And we can see on page 2, this is page 2, if we scroll to the bottom, we can see that the next link is over here, and it won't follow the link back to the previous page either because the class is previous. So we basically just created a spider that's gonna keep following the link to the next page. All right, and on each page, it's going to call the callback. Callback is equal to self.parse. Okay, that's the function that it's going to call on each page. And what's wrong with that? Oh, all right. That's okay. What you can do is just pass in a string. Okay, we can't use self over there because this is not in a function, it's a global. So just pass in a string with the name of your function. Scrapy will automatically pick that up. Don't worry. Okay, actually, even if you don't, specify this, Scrapy will automatically call the function called parse. Anyways, let's go ahead and try this out. Now, ouch. Okay, rule object is not iteratable. Oh, okay. This is supposed to be, whoops. This is supposed to be a list because there can be multiple rules within a spider. Now, if I'm not wrong, we should get 1,000 items. Was that 1,000 items? No, it wasn't. Definitely not. And I know why. Okay, that was kind of dumb, but I forgot to enable the most important thing. Let me just bring this down a bit. I forgot to enable follow is equal to true. Okay, it's not going to begin following links until I say follow is equal to true. Let's run this code again, and this time it should work. Hopefully. And yeah, I think it's working because there's a lot of data being scraped now that we can see over here. Definitely, this is definitely working. We just need to wait a bit for it to scrape all 50 pages. We can begin viewing the data, by the way. Okay, see? Whoa, that's a lot. We've reached 240 so far. Let me close this and open it again. Uh, Ignore those for now. Let's just wait until it's done, okay? It should take about 10-15 more seconds. I'm just gonna pause the video. And great, we're done. Here's our output.json file, which contains a lot of data. 981. Weird, I thought it'd be 1000. Interesting. Okay, I know what happened. This is a bit of an oversight on my part. What we should have done is begun from this page. Wait, whoops. What I did in my rule was only allow pages that have catalog, right? So what's happening is that the start URL is not being acknowledged anymore. So this link is now considered invalid by the link extractor. I think that's the issue, maybe, because I don't see these anymore. I don't see these. Yep, I don't see them. Okay, let me just try that theory out. I think that that is the case. I'm going to change the start URL to this. And there we go. Let's try this again. And again, I'm going to pause the video. Alright, so it's done. Let's examine it now. And hopefully there are 1,000. No. There's still 981. Well, I can't really verify why this is happening, though. In her wake. Where is that? Doesn't appear to be from here. It's from the second page. So where's the first page, huh? That is the question. Why is the first page not being scraped? I see. Well, you know what? Actually, I think we should just remove this altogether because I realized that if we're restricting the XPath to that button, then what's the point of having to use allow? We can just leave it like this, right? Let me delete that, and again, I'm gonna pause the video and I'll resume it once it's done. With this, we're done. Let's check now. And nope, we still have that weird issue. Wow, come on. I had this issue on a previous website, and all the techniques that I'm trying right now, they all worked there before. Okay, see, this is just a part of testing, and the reason I'm not editing any of these out is because it's important that we kind of see how this process works. I have one or two ideas in mind. Let me just decide which one to try next. The restrict XPath option is actually causing the problem. Alright, I know that's the problem because it's preventing the home page from being scraped, basically. So what we can do, and this is a good opportunity for me to tell you something else interesting as well, maybe. What we can do is or previous, and what this does is makes it that we can also follow the previous link back here. Okay, and the reason why you might think that this could end up in duplication, like if we're on page 3 and then it's going to follow this link back to page 2, and you might think it's going to scrape page 2 again, but it's actually not going to, because Scrapy has a built-in feature where it won't scrape the same URL twice. So I'm going to run this code, and hold on. I think that, hold on, let me just cancel this somehow. Whoops, cancel. And I'm pretty sure this was supposed to be class is equal to previous, and that's with an A. All right, let's try this and delete the old one, and I'm gonna pause the video again. Now it's done. Let's double check this, and fingers crossed. 1000, perfect. Now we have the main page being scraped. It's not appearing right in the start. That's, I guess, because yeah, it was scraped when we followed the previous link back. Now, this may not be the best way of doing it. There are other ways of, obviously. I just discussed one technique over here, but obviously there might be better ways out there, and if you do find a better code, then do let me know. Otherwise, I was just making this up on the spot, really. I didn't really write all this out beforehand or anything. We just mostly went along with it. So this is the solution that we came up with. Maybe you can find a better one. Now, I was thinking about covering everything. There's more that I wanted to cover, but I'm thinking it's better if we split it into another video, because I was thinking initially we could get this all done in half an hour, but clearly that's not the case. So I think we should keep the rest, because right now we covered and created the main core logic. In the next video, we can basically look at how to properly structure and process this data. Okay, so yeah, let's end the video right here, and make sure to subscribe to the channel so you stay notified for the future video. It'll be released in a few days, right? See you guys in the next video.